how synaptic plasticity supports learning and memory. When you learn something new, it doesn't just stay in your brain as a fixed thing. Something physically changes. Learning is not just abstract, it is structural. It happens at the level of connections between neurons called synapses. And those connections are not static. They adjust based on activity. Synaptic plasticity refers to the ability of synapses to strengthen or weaken over time. If a connection is repeatedly activated, it becomes stronger. If it is rarely used, it may weaken. This means your brain is constantly reshaping itself based on what you do and think. When a pathway is used repeatedly, communication between neurons becomes more efficient. Signals pass more easily. This process is often described as cells that fire together, wire together. It reflects how repeated activity changes connections. One main mechanism behind strengthening is long-term potentiation, or LTP. A frequently activated synapse becomes more responsive. This involves an increase in receptor sensitivity or number at the synapse, producing a stronger response. Not all connections need strengthening. Some weaken to improve efficiency. This is long-term depression, or LTD. When a synapse is used less often, its response decreases. This refines neural networks. With continued activity, structural changes occur. New synaptic connections may form, existing ones become more stable. This is how short-term changes turn into long-term memory. It's about physical changes in the network. The timing of signals also plays a role. Synapses are sensitive to when neurons fire. Precise timing influences connection strength, adding complexity to how learning occurs. Memory depends on stable patterns of synaptic connections. When these patterns are formed and reinforced, information becomes easier to retrieve. If they weaken, recall becomes more difficult. This is why practice and repetition affect how well something is remembered. I've noticed this with studying. When you review something once, it feels temporary. But after repeating it over time, it becomes easier to recall without effort. That shift reflects changes happening at the synaptic level, even if you don't see them. Synaptic plasticity shows that learning is not just about taking in information. It is about changing the structure and strength of neural connections. These changes happen gradually through repetition and use. And once you understand that, it becomes clear why consistent practice shapes what you remember and how easily you can recall it.